Hey YouTube, Unknown Gamer here, and we had some issues I had some issues with my phone, with my iPod died, and ended up actually getting rid of the whole coaching carousel and everything. I did not get offered the Oregon job, and there was really no other notable job, and I really did want to stay here at Arizona, so I am still here at Arizona. But you see, Justin Washington, only kid that went pro from our team, and he got drafted in the 7th round. But next we have Alabama, who didn't they have a good running back? T.J. Yeldon didn't go pro this year. I guess I'd assume that he didn't go pro because I'd assume that he would have gotten picked if he did. Yeah, not still a pretty good draft class though. I would love to have a draft class like that. Arizona State, they're in our league. Didn't really. Lost two guys. Two guys went pro. Auburn had pretty decent amount of guys, more than we did, which isn't too hard. California did have a left end go pro. What about? I'm just looking through for teams in our division, in our conference. I'm sorry if I miss any. I'm not really a big Pac-12 guy. But let's look through here. I'm also going to look at Ohio State because we did play them in our bowl game, so I will look at them, see who all they lost. Like I said, I'm sorry if I miss anybody. I'm just going to be mainly seeing the major schools. Ohio State, who did they lose? Christian Bryant, Corey Brown, Muhart, Hyde, Bennett, and Lindsey. So, yeah, pretty much who you thought they would. But Jeremy Smith Oklahoma State. That's the wrong team. Oregon, who'd they lose? Huff. Did they lose Thomas? Oh, crap, they still have time. Marcus Mariota did go pro, though. That's going to kill him. They had one good. That was the best player on their team by far, and he goes pro. So now who's Oregon's quarterback? That's my number one question. Oregon State had nobody go pro. We did one better than they did. Who else? Who's another big team? Stanford. Oh wow, they didn't even have that good of a year, but they lost a decent amount of players, so that's gonna be hard for them next year. What about like I said, I'm just looking at major teams. UCLA, did I pass USC? No, I did not. UCLA, who went pro here? 3 players, pretty good. So they might be hurting a little bit. This USC team might be hurt. No, they're not gonna be hurting that much. They didn't lose Lee, and that will probably help them out a lot. Not losing Reed. I mean, no, Lee. Yeah, Lee is the guy that they have. And then Washington State, did they lose? Did anybody go pro there? Yeah, that's pretty much all the teams I know from the Pac-12. I know I missed quite a few, but can't get them all. And we do not have any transfer requests. So now we go into recruiting, my favorite part of the year, of the offseason. Because this is where we find out how next season will look. Because right now, this determines, I will run a lot more Wildcat if we end up getting Derek Reynolds. James Bailey would help us out a lot. So would James Bailey and James Lilly and Drew Carroll, Willie Mitchell. All these guys could help us out so much. And I'm hoping that they do end up committing here. Because if they do, we will, next year, we'll have filled all the spots that we lost pretty decent. Not the world's best, but not terrible either. So I have a 1,300, so I am going to put 700 on Drew Carroll, because that's what it was like at the end of the season. I'm at least going to put the end of the season points on there and then move up from there. James Lilly, he's going to need more, so I will put 1,000 on him, because he needs more than Drew Carroll does at this point. James Bailey, we are very close to putting them out, and I'll put enough to put them out for sure, which would be 700. 700 wouldn't put them out for sure. 1,000 would for dang sure. 1,000 would end it for sure. Paul Garrett, this kid looks pretty much like he's going to commit. I'll put 700 on him, and that should almost guarantee a commit from him. That'll at least guarantee we beat out everybody else. Sean Edwards, I really want this kid, so he's going to take at least 1,500, and I would like to get him just because I want to have depth at the end spots. Marcus Romero, we need this kid a lot, and for him to commit, I think he's going to need 1,005 too. Because that way we can make sure that he commits, because he will probably be a 5-year starter here if he does commit. Reggie Williams, don't need him. Derek Reynolds, oh, we're behind on him. I'm going to put 1,500 on him too, just because I need this. This kid will be huge here. Isaac Ingram, don't need him. Willie Mitchell, this kid is going to be big too, so I'll put 1,005 on him too, because he's just another one of those guys I really want to see commit. And that's what we're doing. We're going through, we're looking at guys that we really want to commit, and then we go from there. This guy, I didn't really care much about him. Deion Hall, I do want this kid a lot, so I'll put 2,000 on him because he's a long ways from committing. So I'll put 2,000 on him. Derek Jackson. Oh, we need Derek Jackson too, and we are behind on him, so I will put 1,025 on him to see if he can commit right there. Who else? Kevin Richardson, we didn't care much about him. This Menley kid, I'll put... I can only put 350 on him. And that might be enough if Oregon State doesn't put anything on him to get him. But let's look at guys that we might have wrapped up. We just don't need to put that many points on them. Romero, we can take you down to 250. We can take you down to 250. And now we'll open up room for the guard because I do want to get some depth at guard. Sean, we're going to need all that on him. Garrett, we can take him down 100 because, well, if he doesn't commit, he doesn't commit. Bailey, I want to leave there. Drew Carroll, I want to put more on him because I don't want to lose Carroll. So, yeah, we'll put Carroll at 1,000. We'll leave the rest of the board as it is. So, right here, this is how the board looks. I'll go by position. That way you guys see who all by position looks like. 400, I don't think 400 is going to be enough to get him. Yeah, 400 won't get him. So there's no point in going for and even putting points towards him if we're not going to get him. Derek Jackson, we should be able to get him with that. Deion Hall, 2,000 should be able to get him. Willie Mitchell, we've had a lot of trouble getting him even close to committing. So get him I'll push him up to 700. That leaves us with 200 points left. Derek Reynolds, we've flown up his boards before easily. So now the question is, who's closest? We'll throw this extra 200 on James Lilly. This is our final recruiting board. Man, I hope this goes well. I'll go to top classes, and then I'll see you guys after this. And you do see we have the 65th recruiting class. Not the world's best recruiting class, but still, we're going to have a lot more kids committing after this, and hopefully it goes well. Actually, screw the skipping. You guys will do it all together, and I'll immediately skip it, and we'll immediately look into signing. Actually, I'll block out the camera. That way you guys... I'm only doing this, putting my finger over the screen. That way you guys cannot see who we get to commit until we go into the signing board, until we go into the signing day and we look at the recruiting board. But just so you guys know, I am recording this while watching the Ohio State game against Wisconsin, and man, I don't know what happened, but whoever but that Ohio State team is way different than the team we saw playing Michigan a week ago. You see, this is signing day right here. Oh. We got some killer news, some good news, and some of that killer news is big to me because it pisses me off because some of these guys I was really planning on using. Right here we'll see Deion Hall did not commit. The JUCO, I wanted him so bad, does not commit. And right here we see we lost Drew Carroll to Cal. Cal wasn't even in the fight. We lose James Lilly to Southern Miss. We do get Steve Burton though, somebody I didn't even go for. We lose Paul Garrett by 1,000. Oh wow. We do get Marcus Romero though. So that's the one good thing we get out of this. We don't get Reggie Williams though, but Derek Reynolds does commit here by good margin. So we could have taken some points off of him. Isaac Ingram, we don't get him. We don't get Willie Mitchell either. We do get Jacob Taylor. I didn't even go for him really. Derek Jackson, we don't get him either, and we needed a middle linebacker. We do get Alex Nolan. I didn't even put any points on him at all. We do get Robert Mindley, and he was one of those JUCO guys I didn't think we'd be able to get, but we didn't even put points on him when we got him, so wow. James Bailey does commit here, though, so decent recruiting class. Really wish we could have gotten a lot more. Wish we could have gotten Drew Carroll and James Lilly, as that would have helped us out a lot. But we do end up with the 11th ranked recruiting class, and we end up tied for first with the most 5-star recruits. So we do have some possible big name players. I just hope Dion Hall. That guy was going to be the next big thing here at Arizona. I was planning on using him, and he would be the next big thing. But well, now we're missing him. We miss on Drew Carroll too, and James Lilly. I thought those two guys would be crucial. I don't think we got Sean Edwards either, the guy from Traverse City. Man, a lot of these guys I really wanted we didn't end up getting, which sucks. But right now we got position changes. Derek Reynolds is an 80 overall quarterback, 80 overall halfback. Where do I want him to develop? That's the number one question right now. Do I want him to develop at running back? I'm just checking all these positions to make sure there's nothing he'd be better at. Quarterback or running back? Which one do I want Derek Reynolds to develop at? See, that's the thing. I don't know. Because he could be a really good... Okay, I'm going to have to look at positions before I can really say anything about him. 80 overall running back, Albert Smith. Didn't think of him as a running back before. I always thought of him as a purebred... Oh, wow. A really good free safety. So he's another guy I'm going to have to wait on to really make the decision. But James Bailey, I think... James Bailey, he was a clear-cut... He was a cornerback for sure, I think. Oh, wow. No, he's a wide receiver who could end up playing corner. He could end up playing both sides of the ball. I prefer to develop him at corner, but once again, it's one of those things I got to see the position. So far, we've had a lot of having to see the position. Teves will definitely start there. Yeah, there's no point in moving Bailey there. Cornerback's going to... He'd be a third-string cornerback, which won't be too bad. He'd be definitely a starter next year. So he'll definitely play cornerback. Let me see what's running back. What's wide receiver look like? Wide receiver 80. We do have a lot of depth there, but I will be putting Bailey, the other guy, there. So basically, all these corners I thought I was getting 2 corners. I only end up with 1. But Kadeem Carey, actually, as I look at this, let me see quarterback. Scroggins will be gone. He'd be 4th-string quarterback, but next year he'd be 3rd-string and probably beating out Solomon. So actually, right now, Derek Reynolds looks like he'd be a better quarterback this year. He wouldn't get any playing time at halfback he wouldn't get any playing time at halfback. So he'll be quarterback. Albert Smith, he was the guy. Yeah, he was the free safety / cornerback that will be staying cornerback. And James Bailey, he was the wide receiver who will be getting limited playing time this year. But yeah, that's pretty much the position changes. That was one of the first times I've actually had a few guys out really coming into there. I thought I knew where I wanted them to play, but I ended up not knowing really where I wanted them to play. But yeah, and that's pretty much what it looks like. Next year, they might be getting changed around again, though. Who knows? Depending on the recruits that come in, they could very easily end up playing a different position. But Kadeem Carey goes up to 99 overall. We'll look at those stats later, but Solomon ends up going to an 86. And yeah, we're looking at a 3rd-string freshman, Jesse Stroggins. He just doesn't fit in with what we want to run, so I'm probably going to cut him, as much as that might annoy some people. he probably will be cut just because he doesn't fit the play style that we have here. And also he's a senior that's an 86 overall. I'm just kind of looking through and seeing what Anu Solomon has, seeing where he really improved. Elusiveness, ball carrier vision, stiff arm, spin move, juke move. Carrying is still way too low for me to where I can really, now that I see that, it kind of changes my idea. Throw power, he did get a lot better accuracy wise, and that's what I do like. So yeah, it looks like right now Anu will be starting as of right now, but he still has to go through practice. Yeah, he would be a third or fifth string. But Katine Carey's going to destroy this year. We're looking at actually a really good receiving core too. Lowest rated player on there of people that aren't just now recruited is a 78 overall, as we will have a slot of David Richards coming out of the slot. That's going to be deadly. Him coming out of the slot with 96 speed. Ooh, and then we got Cooper sitting over there. Yeah, and we have a 90 tackle. Ooh. I'm so, oh wow, that kind of gets me nervous. But actually, as I look at the line, has a group, pretty good line. Oh man, if only Carroll were to committed. Oh wait, never mind. Carroll wouldn't have started anyways. So yeah, but oh wow, this does put us at a hard spot now for defensive tackle. Lilly not committing because Lilly would have been best guy here. Left outside linebacker though is Jackson. Middle linebacker is this just going to be Miller. Yeah, it will end up being DeAndre Miller. And depending on where, yeah, and we'll have a freshman starting at left outside linebacker. Put McKnight with 93 overall right there. Babish, yeah, we'll be looking at a third string freshman there. Ooh. Yeah, we'd be looking at a backup freshman here, though, and a starter next year. So, yeah, he very well might be moved next season. Albert Smith, I think it is. He'll probably be moved to free safety next year if we can get more wide receivers. No, not more wide receivers, more corners. But, ooh, I do like our strong safety, as we do look to have a pretty good team, actually, this year. I mean, look, secondary looks, it has a strong depth everywhere except for cornerback. But other than that, our secondary is good. Our linebackers kind of have me a little bit nervous. Our line, definitely. Our defensive tackle has me scared. But really, outside of that, there's not a lot of stuff to be scared about with this team outside of out of linebackers and defensive tackle, and injury crisis. There's nothing else to worry about, really. So I'm not too scared because we have a team that can really do it, that can do really good. We have to cut 3 people. Scroggins, you made it to your senior year. You're our highest rated quarterback, but you wouldn't start, and I would have to cut somebody with better potential. So, yeah, he will be cut. Derek Reynolds will end up being probably starter or backup at worst. We're gonna keep all of our 4 halfbacks. I don't want 2 fullbacks. Wide receiver, I'm gonna keep these 2 guys because they have decent speed. That's the number one thing I like about them. We're going to definitely keep these 2 guys, as they pretty good. Line Nolan, we got him to commit. Right guard, Mendley, you're a JUCO junior. You're probably going to be redshirted this year. Oh, 55 overall? No, I don't keep 55s on my team. I don't do that. But while I'm at it, I might as well look and see what it looks like our final roster will be. Melvin Birch, the first year starter here, it looks like. William Davis, the JUCO junior, decides to come here late. I guess just decided to come here later on. Wiley Johnson, 48 overall. Yeah. And he couldn't even be cut. Romero, though, will be starting right outside linebacker. And then, don't like that, but we'll keep him just for the death because we'll need it. But yeah, so there was no commit from Dion Hall, which kind of that doesn't kind of it really does disappoint me. As now we go to custom conferences, which we won't be doing anything in, because I'm not going to change the Big Ten yet. I'll do that later. I'll probably do that next season. I just don't really want to mess with it right now, because this video is kind of running. I mean, it's not running long, but also it's just I'm not in the Big Ten either, so it's not like it really affects me a lot. It doesn't affect me a lot, but I can tell you right now, if I move to the Big Ten, I'll definitely do that. But because I haven't moved to the Big Ten and I'm in the Pac-12 and it has no effect on me, I'm not even going to mess with it. I can reset skills. I'm not going to do that because I set all these skills up. I know what I want. I already got what I want. Yeah, and now we're going into the preseason. This is where it's going to be really interesting. Because now we're going to see how I deal with certain positions. Who's going to get redshirted, who's not. Who's going to start at quarterback. That's my number one question. I'll do some practices after this video to decide it for week 1. But I honestly right now, if you asked me right now and put me on the spot and said who's my starting quarterback, I can tell you right now, I would look you in the eyes and say I have no clue. We'll find that out in week 1. Pipeline. I'll do the pipeline one right now, and next thing I will be doing though is that offseason. As we get closer to the offseason, it's just we're nowhere close to that, so I don't see the point in using and starting to focus on that. Yeah, right now it says that we're 7th. So first thing I will do though is customize our schedule. UNLV, UTSA, Nevada are our 3 non-conference games. First of all, I would rather have one right here. Let me see who's all open. I don't want to play a bad team because we've done enough of that. I don't like playing bad teams just to get the easy win. We did that last year. We faced some teams that were well below us, and we crushed them. And then at the end of the season, it actually probably did hurt us a lot. So I do want to. Is Penn State open? They would be. Penn State's not open this week, so I'll probably end up playing Iowa. Yeah, we'll play Iowa, UNLV, UTSA. I don't want to play UTSA. I can tell you right now, we're not playing UTSA. That's us playing way down. We're playing way out of our level. We could be playing a lot better than that. Penn State, I'll probably schedule them later, but we'll play at TCU, and then we'll play home. First game of the year, home versus Penn State. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I think that'll get us right around an A for schedule strength. Yeah, we're at an A- schedule strength. Let's change up TCU. Let's see who else is open. I'm not playing Alabama. We're not playing a top-ranked team. We'll play Florida at the Swamp. Nah. Who else is a good team? Who is a good team who would give us a fight, but we can still walk out with it? Miami. Yeah, Miami gets us up to an A. We'll play Miami at Iowa. Penn State, Miami, and Iowa will be our 3 non-conference games. So here's our schedule. Penn State, Miami, California, Iowa, Colorado, Washington, Washington State, USC, UCLA, Oregon, Utah, Arizona State. That's one heck of us. We have a 3 games. We have week 10, 11, and 12. We have 3 top 25 teams, 2 of which are top 5 teams. That's one heck of a season. Hey, sorry about that little break. I wanted to watch the rest of the Buckeye game, and I'm doing this after the committee selection. And Ohio State is in, and actually I am going to end up changing up my schedule now because of the 2 teams that didn't make it. Baylor, that doesn't change my schedule strength. So now the question is, who do I put in this one, Baylor or TCU? Because I really want to add one of them. So it's Baylor or TCU. Let's see if TCU bumps mine up. bumps mine up at all. And TCU's not even open this week, so yeah, we're going to be playing Penn State, Miami, California, Baylor, Colorado, Washington, and then, yeah, same as it was before. That's how our schedule's looking. I think it's looking pretty good. I went ahead, did all the red shirting and everything already, too. That way this video doesn't end up being too long. I'll just do a quick brief through. Yeah, you see Derek Reynolds is not red-shirted this year. TJ Johnson does get red-shirted. Nobody here. Jacob Taylor and BJ Jenkins both get redshirted. Nobody gets redshirted here. Line, nobody. Nolan gets redshirted. Nobody gets redshirted here. Medley does get redshirted. Right tackle, nobody got redshirted. Left end, nobody's getting redshirted. Right end, Booker's getting redshirted. Defensive tackle, only Miles. Left outside linebacker, nobody. Middle linebacker, Wiley Johnson. Nobody at right outside linebacker. Cornerbacks, Eric Harris. He's getting redshirted because, well, we'll need him in a few years. We'll need him next year. Nobody at free safety. At strong safety, I did redshirt David Redmond just because I'd like him to be there I'd like next year to be his junior year. That way we at least have a little bit of time before I have to start really hardcore recruiting strong safeties. I also went through and set the recruiting board. I can't remember if I showed this or not, but I did make some changes to it anyways, so I'll just go through here real quick by position. Halfback, these guys, I'm looking more at Barrett Dixon because he has 96 speed, and that's what I like, is that 96 speed. But Rogers, he's more of the power back, so I probably will go for him too to see if I can get a duo there. Here, probably won't go for either of these guys, but if I did go for one, Danny Jenkins would be it. Tight end, Brad Lee is who I want because he has that 85 speed, and I really do like the 85 speed and 75 trucking. So he probably will end up, so I'd like to start recruiting him. Here, Lucas Barr looks like the best to me. And then center, guard, I don't know why I added those guys, but I didn't scout any of them. Guard, I would like to see Chad Hall come here. Defensive end, I've already looked at these guys and decided I will go for George Darby and Josh Johnson just so I can, because they both are pretty good. Josh Johnson with 83 speed, but he doesn't have that much of acceleration. But Darby does have really good acceleration. But also, Johnson's a much sure tackler. Right here at defensive tackle, I'm looking for Tommy White because he probably could end up being a starter his freshman year. Outside linebacker, Alvin. I'll scout these guys once we get into week 1. Right here, Eric Heath is somebody I really want because I feel he could be a really good player, like I said earlier. And right here, I look down here, Brandon Ewing, I added him later. I added him recently, so he might end up playing some, but I'm mainly looking at Darren Ball, and I will scout Brandon Ewing, but him and Jason Workman will be fighting to get recruited here. I would like to see Andy Washington come here because I feel he would be a decent player for us. Strong safety, I'm starting to look at these guys now. Just guys that'd be here for a little bit. I do like Jamond Alvarez, even though he doesn't have high speed. Looks like a decent zone coverage, and then good hit power from Fred Matthews and decent zone and man. But Alvarez is a better tackler, so that's a big thing right there. I did add Corey Harper because he's a power kicker, and that's something we're going to need next year because we don't have a power kicker this year in our freshman, and he won't improve a whole bunch. Scott O'Neal, I kept him because he could end up, he has 76 zone, so I thought maybe I could play him at he'd either be a wide receiver or a wide receiver, running back, or safety, and more likely safety. Kyle Brooks, I looked at him. He looks like a cornerback, and I won't mind that. So that's pretty much what my recruiting is looking like. And also, I did do the practice mode too, so I already know who my starters are. I know how I want my whole depth chart set up. And there are some shockers with the depth chart, which you guys can probably already guess. Right here, Derek Reynolds will be starting over Solomon. Although Solomon is an All-American, the freshman will take out the All-American for his spot for two reasons. In the practice mode, a lot of times our lines, because we have a few weak spots on our line, Solomon, when he got pressured, he didn't have the speed. He didn't have the speed or the acceleration to really get out of the pocket and make something happen. It seemed like Derek Reynolds could create something from nothing, and that's what I really want in a quarterback. Also, yeah, of course, Kadeem Carey's starter. But Cormier, he could end up being a really good running back for us, and I hope he does. Because he has Zachary Green behind him. He was an All-American for punt and kick returning. Right here, yeah, you have Hire right here. But here's another big shocker. Austin Hill, Wharton, Richards, and then James Bailey jumped Elveria, and Trey Griffey. And I really liked Griffey, how Griffey played last year. Because he did really good coming out of the slot. But James Bailey, he was sure-handed when I used him, and he has pretty good speed and pretty good acceleration too. So I do like that. So he will, of course, be our fourth receiver. And then we have Cooper and Newell. I do have Newell starting in one pistol formation. That's it. Right here you do see we have a good left tackle, not the world's greatest left guard. And that's a big problem for us. Decent center, decent right guard, decent right tackle. Left end, we have a really good senior here, followed up by a junior, Boosh Liu. And looking at him, it's midway during the season, probably won't be a change, but if Patinato doesn't end up doing what I want him to do, there might be a change. Right here, we do have Tala starting out at right end, and then we have Melvin, Birch, and Davis, all has our top three defensive tackles. But we do have Sir Thomas Jackson, the junior, starting at left outside linebacker. Then we have Devin Gordon at middle linebacker, starting over DeAndre Miller, the sophomore. And then Marcus Romero is going to be starting his freshman year here on this team. But then we have Jonathan McKnight, Derek Babash, and we have Albert Smith will be our third cornerback. And then followed by Devin Holiday and Jordan Grandin. But then we had Jared Tevis, who hopefully has a breakout year this year. I think he will be able to. And then we have Tremion Bondurant at strong safety. And he'll probably have a decent chance at a breakout year. Then we have Palmer and Riggleman at kicker and punter. And then for return men, we are going to have Elvera starting out there. Actually, no, we're not going to have Elvera. Why? I don't get why he even started out there. So right now I have a choice between Grandin and Richards. We'll go with Richards. David Richards will be the kick and punt returner, as he has 96 speed, best on the team right now. And that's right there is how our team looks right now on the depth chart. And that's pretty. I think I have everything covered. Yeah, I already went over. Yeah, I've went over everything. So we got everything set up. Now we will advance to the regular season, and things will begin to become interesting as we go into the regular season. And like I said, it's Derek Reynolds can create something from nothing, and that's something we didn't have last year. We didn't have that quarterback who could very frequently escape the pocket and find somebody wide open downfield, or escape the pocket and make a 20, 30-yard run almost. Well, I'm hoping will be quite a bit. Because our defense might not be the world's best sometimes at getting pressure, but when they did get pressure, it was a lot easier to get out of the pocket with Derek Reynolds. And I know we will be facing teams like Penn State, and Penn State is they always are known for having a good defense, so I'll be expecting them to bring a lot of blitz for them to be able to get in the backfield. And also, you think about it, Oregon's very fast. Our problem with them was the picks where we couldn't get out of the pocket and we were trying to avoid a sack, which for me was nerve-wracking, having to continuously run around and try and avoid and try and avoid a sack and end up throwing a pick. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I did what I did, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.